Whether you need multi-channel audio backing tracks to front of house, separate in-ear monitors for everyone in the band, or you're creating an immersive art installation with speakers surrounding the viewer, Visibox 3.5 can do it. And we can merge your stem files so you don't need to try to mix multi-channel files from your DAW. Hi everybody, I'm Jeff. And I'm going to talk to you about the new features in Visibox 3.5. This new version features some of the most asked for features having to do with multi-channel audio playback. Perhaps you've got stem files that you want to play on stage and allow your front of the house person to mix them. You're playing with a click track on stage. You want the drummer to hear the click and the audience not to. Maybe the band needs to hear the click track at a different level than the drummer, or maybe only hear it in certain parts of the song. Basically, you can create stem files for all of these things and drag them into Visibox and make it happen. Let me show you how it works. So, I've got a number of different sort of types of stem files here. Let me kind of walk you through. I'm going to start with some kind of conventional stem files, like we think about more for like mixing and remixing and that kind of stuff, where we've got, in this case, we've got 4 stereo files representing drums, bass, guitar, and vocals. And basically, if you take all of these and just drag them right into a song in Visibox, Visibox will prompt you. It says, hey, you've got multiple audio files here. Do you want to keep these lossless? These files are WAV files, 24-bit WAV files. And if you don't want to lose that audio fidelity, if you're an audio fidelity purist, you're welcome to keep it high level, or if you choose lossy here, you lose a little bit of audio fidelity, but you'll save a whole lot of disk space in your project. So I'm going to just choose the lossy option here, and Visibox takes a moment as it compresses the files and converts them. If you've used Visibox before, you know that Visibox is at its heart a visual triggering application for videos and images and cameras and stuff like that. You can add what's called a placeholder clip. If you were maybe just using Visibox for your backing tracks and not using the video or visual elements of it at all, you could just add placeholder clips. But I am going to add a video file here and show you kind of what we can do with that. I've got a bunch of the Visibox video packs that we've got for free on our website. If you go to spaceage.tv, we've got a bunch of video packs that are free. And so now when we trigger this video clip, that clip will loop and the audio will play. Right now we are in, well, let's start in stereo mode, because this is kind of what you expect of a remix. So what we're hearing now is the mix, right? We're hearing the drums, we're hearing the guitar, we're hearing the bass, and eventually, if we let this play, we'll hear the vocals. Visibox has a stereo mode, which is the default mode. It also has a mono mode, where it'll mix things down to mono. If you're wearing headphones, you might be able to hear that. But now we've got this new multi-channel mode, where it will take and send out as many audio channels as your interface will take, up to 8. Right now, we've got a limited 8. We're both Mac and Windows compatible, and the lowest common denominator right now is 8. We're working on increasing that. There's some changes coming to Windows later this year that may open up that possibility. There's a bunch of other possibilities for us, but for now, the most reliable thing that we could do was to offer 8 channels. And in this case, now that we're in multi-channel mode, we're only hearing the drums because that's what's on channel 1 and 2. I've got stereo headphones on, and but what we're seeing here is all of the other channels. So if I were to hook this up to a multi-channel audio interface, the additional channels would be coming out the other channels, the other output channels on the interface, and going to the front of house for mixing, or maybe you've got some sort of a surround setup or something like that you want to do. Anyways, that's sort of what we think about as stem files, stereo stem files. But the truth is that on stage, we have different needs than that. It's not really remix needs. It's multi-channel. And so let me show you a more conventional type of setup that you might have on stage. So in this case, we've got here a mono click that maybe the drummer is going to have loud in his or her headphones or in-ear monitors, and the band would have maybe quiet or not at all. We've got a stereo drum track. We've got a mono bass track. And then we've got stereo guitars. We also have vocals here, but we're going to just create the backing tracks. So basically, just by dragging these all in, I'll actually use a different method here. If I go here and say copy, and then head over into Visibox and say paste, we'll get those same options again. Let's say lossless this time, just for kicks, just so you can see what that is. It doesn't really look any different. It's not re-encoding the audio, so it happens a little bit faster. Again, we'll come up with our own video to use here. Let's see. Some bumping color bubbles looks great. So now, again, I'll go back. This time I'll go to mono, just because that will make more sense at first. So let's just listen to the backing tracks now. It starts with a little robot voice to tell us which song we're in. There's also a little robot voice for the drummer at the beginning of each section, so that we're sure we're in the right place. But
the friction.
So now we're hearing all the tracks that I just dragged in mono. However, when we drag in our stem clips, stem files, they get sorted in alphabetical order or numerical order. In this case, we've got numbers at the beginning to tell Visibox which order we want these things to be in. So basically, we've got a mono track that's happening on track 1. We've got drums happening on track 2 and track 3, and we've got bass happening on track 4 and guitars on track 5 and 6. So it's a 6-channel audio file that's been created. And so when we go into stereo, it gets a little weird because the way that Visibox folds things down, it basically takes the odd channels and plays them on the left side and the even channels and plays them on the right side. So what it means is that we're only hearing the click on the left side here.
The friction.
But still, it's helpful just, as you're setting up for your show to make sure that you've got all the tracks that you need. The way that this would really be used on stage is in multi-channel mode, of course, and this will send each discrete channel of your audio file to that discrete channel of your audio interface. And in this case, what we're only going to hear is just tracks 1 and 2 because you're listening in stereo, I'm listening in stereo, but we can see the other channels playing here. When they come in, there's some drums. I'll jump ahead here. But you can see the other channels. We've just got a 2-channel audio interface. I've got it playing on my AirPods here. But if I were to go to a multi-channel audio interface, it would output to all of the different outputs that are offered by that audio interface. Anyways, up until now, people have been syncing up Visibox with Ableton or Stage Tracks or even Pro Tools on stage to be able to do this kind of thing and get multi-channel audio output. So maybe you don't need to do that anymore, or you can get all the multi-channel audio output right out of Visibox. There's still some reasons that you might want to do that kind of thing. Obviously, a lot of people perform with Ableton on stage, and you could still do that with Visibox now, triggering it through MIDI or whatever you're using. Got a few other new features in Visibox 3.5. I just want to show you quickly. This is obviously the major one, is the multi-channel audio, but we've also got a new support form, which seems sort of silly to get excited about. However, this new support form, if you've got a subscription, will give you priority support, and it will also send us information about the computer you're running and the version of Visibox you're running. It saves a fair amount of back and forth and allows a faster response from our support team for you. But even more exciting, we've got a new Visibox manual that you can find at manual.spaceage.tv, and there's versions now for the different versions of Visibox going back to 3.4, and in 3.5 you can see all the new audio features here, including the multi-channel audio, how to configure it, get it all set up on Mac or Windows, how the down mixing works, whether you're using stereo, mono, or multi-channel, how the metering works, and how combining stem files work. So check out that. The new manual is great. It's got search functionality. If you're on Mac or Windows, you can it should default to Windows on Windows, and it'll show you the hotkeys for Windows on Windows, and it'll show you the Mac menus and hotkeys on the Mac. And it's got a dark mode, which, you know, was all the rage a few years ago. But if you're a dark mode kind of person, you can view that in dark mode now. Anyways, that's Visibox 3.5. 3.6 is actually really just about to come out. We're cranking out new features, a lot of stuff people have been asking for. We're really excited about it. Spaceage.tv is where you can come and download a free download of Visibox and try it out free for 14 days. We just reset trials recently, so if it's been a while since you've tried it, come back and try it again. And let us know what you think. Yeah, reach out. Use that contact form, the support form with your questions and words of support, because we will support you when you support us. Anyways, thanks so much. We'll see you next time.